think we're doing things now. Might have to find a better system for this. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I have no idea what I'm doing. How's the audio? Is the audio good? I appreciate you joining, Mike. They're pretty easy to make. Now, I don't know about making them and going on Facebook Live. I will probably mess up something. Thanks, Matt. I'm using the external audio. It's under my shirt, but I didn't know if it was plugged in right. Sometimes this technology stuff gets the best of me. I'm getting some reheat some remelts right now. Oh, that's how you rotate the camera. Boom. We're gonna reheat these remelts, and then we'll shoot them. It helps if you guys can see them. I'm gonna grow frustrated with this cell phone stuff and just figure out a way to set up an actual camera just so it's easier for me. Really only doing this this YouTube live video as a test. We're gonna have to cancel our seminar on Friday, which is supposed to be about inshore fishing, I believe, and we're gonna have to do that on live. We'll probably end up doing it on Facebook Live. I just wanted to see what the YouTube Live stuff was like. Never used it before. Ah, fail. Probably the worst possible time of day to actually do this, but why not? No one's watching, so when I mess up, no one will see it. Oh man, well the little number things are weird. I don't know what I'm doing, Mike. You can laugh. It's like free entertainment around here, okay? All right, Mike. This stuff is super hot. That's one thing. If you want to know what it's like, a lot of the videos on how to do it tells you to wear a bunch of safety equipment. However, we're not going to do that. The biggest thing is heating it up slow. When we start from scratch, okay, it looks like this. We'll do that in a minute. It's like Elmer's glue, kind of like a low viscosity Elmer's glue. And then as you heat it, it actually gets clear. Then you add color, and you play arts and crafts for grown men. My goodness. Where'd the comment go? I don't make any with the hooks in them already. No, I've looked at a bunch of different molds online with some that already have the hooks in them. But if you already put the hook in it, it's hard to change the weight or anything. So you're kind of stuck with what you got. I kind of like the idea of being able to use a different size hook. How's the Matt guy always first? Look, I've talked to him about it. Matt, Matt has like 3 cell phone batteries built into one cell phone, so his phone never dies. Okay, so he's always ready to go at a moment's notice. He evidently gets emails and notifications. A true bell on notification subscriber. Okay. Now we're gonna let that stuff heat up a little bit more, and the bubbles will kind of fade out of it. This is a remelt, and I heated it already a little bit. It has a little bit of air bubbles in it. You guys will see them on top. We let it heat up, stay in there, not with the microwave on, but like kind of like incubate. The air bubbles will rise up and they'll pop, and they'll disappear. It's kind of, you're not gonna be able to see it. I have to spill it for you to see it, and that would be absolutely foolish. But most of the lures we make like this is always a small batch. The idea of putting a hook in there, you have to put weight in there too, and there's molds you can buy and do it, but I just didn't want to. I like the idea of if we're fishing deep water, I could change out the jig if I need to without, I guess you're gonna change the whole lure anyways, right? So who knows? Hey, thanks for watching, Mo. This is experimental. I'm talking about it a little bit later when maybe there's more than 2 people or 3 people in the room, but we had a seminar scheduled for Friday the 27th, I think it was. Obviously, we're gonna have to cancel that because you can't have more than 10 people in a room with each other, which is, well, the world we currently live in. So we're gonna have to do that on Facebook Live. Now, we live streamed the last one on Facebook too, but we didn't stream it on Facebook, so I figured I would do one on YouTube like this and see how it worked out. You want to get this stuff so it's kind of like a thick syrup, right? You don't want it to be too runny because it's too hot. You can sit here with a temperature gauge for hours and be super scientific about it, but the simple approach is far more effective. Let it cool down just for a second. I usually stand up when I do this stuff, so sitting down will be an experience for me. I'll probably mess up. Turn this a little bit. But it's hard to see, but the plastic kind of expands, right? And then it kind of contracts and the bubbles will pop out. Right now the plastic is like absorbing together and the bubbles will just kind of fade out. So we don't want any bubbles in the plastic, so we'll let that happen for a few more seconds. One thing about this stuff is it's super hot. So really that stuff's probably about 350 degrees. So, wearing gloves, has some fumes that come off it. The goal is not to breathe that stuff in. The fan's running though, so the fan will push it away from us. It's not exactly safe. Yeah, Mike, I don't know, man. I don't know. I have a bunch of clients. I have like several clients who are in town that want to go fishing. However, with the launches being hit or miss and no way to go off the beach, it's too windy and waves are too big now anyways. But yeah, launching the kayak, now that's a challenge, okay? I don't know. All right, injector. We're gonna turn this down a little bit. Now you guys can see this stuff. Injector, you're gonna make sure there's no air in there. So put it down here. Slowly absorb this plastic, making sure we don't get any air. The molds are already set up. I already shot a little bit. We're just gonna push down into this mold like so. We're just gonna top it off so we don't have any, the plastic will contract in there and then we don't want any bubbles or anything. Go over to the next mold and shoot the other stick model. These are the stick baits, right? Obviously we sell a whole bunch of these things and I had to restock Broxtons, so I didn't have too many left. And I wanted to have some left for the, we're gonna fail. We're not gonna work. Sitting down is so weird, man. Probably shouldn't do this sitting down, but we'll let that one go for now. It's pretty simple, except for the fact that sitting down is really weird. I don't know how else to do it so you guys can see it. I gotta step in my live video game has to be stepped up. But this is all experimental. After you shoot it, I just toss this back in there. You don't have to turn it back on or anything, just so it stays, so that plastic stays warm. Cause like this stuff right here, that stuff is burning like crazy. You should not touch that stuff. Like it is so hot. But after you do it all the time, you kind of build up an immunity to it or something. Push this extra stuff out in here real quick because it didn't actually shoot. So that second mold is not going to work out too good. But once it comes out of that first mold, it looks just like this. Now all we're going to do is we're just going to lay it flat over here, let it cool down a little bit longer. Lay it flat so they're not folded. You don't want that plastic to harden at a weird angle or anything, but all those turned out great. Now, obviously this one, she might actually turn out pretty good. This is what it looks like when it's in there, like so. Kind of felt weird when I shot it, but there aren't any air bubbles in them, so they're good. Sometimes if you shoot it weird, you see how I didn't have a top on it right there? That spot is open. You want that sprue to be filled up because the plastic absorbs down through there. However, looks like we turned out without any kind of issues, nice and pretty. That's a ghost shrimp color. It actually is really easy, Mike. It's actually way harder to do it like this than it actually is to do it. Once you get the plastic hot and you get the rolling, like it's been in there for a few seconds, so we'll just put it back on there for 15 seconds or so. And do whatever. Now it takes some time to get all the stuff set up so it's running smoothly. Probably put that phone in a different place, so you gotta be able to see it to see what you typed though. So put it in there for another 15 seconds like that. Heats back up. I'll show you how I normally do it. Put it at an angle like this. Take this guy, and then it's a lot easier to work with this when you're standing up, like so. Biggest thing is don't pick up any air. Pick up any kind of air, you will get all kinds of air bubbles in your lures. Obviously, you don't want to send that out to anybody. Then you just shoot both these molds real quick. Top them off so when everything goes back inside, there's no issue. Put the rest in there. Now, the cool thing about this stuff is you can actually remelt it. So we're going to cut these off. You can remelt this sprue part in the middle. That whole thing can be remelted. Same with this stuff. You know, same with all this stuff we just shot over here in this little junk pile. All right, so now we're going to cut this stuff up. Sorry about that. I had to get some more 3D printer for the handles that we've been printing. Don't want to run out and then the whole world shut down, not be able to print any handles or wrenches for people. We've been selling a whole bunch of those things. But we just cut all this stuff back up, and then we'll just heat it back up. And that'll allow us to make more so we don't waste any, right? But all the stuff that's like sprues that's left in here, just pop that out of there, throw it back in there. Now you can overheat this stuff. We use some stuff to stop it from going bad. I don't put any scent on them, man. I did that video a while back about that product from Texas called the Stank Stick. I haven't used it yet though. A lot of guys swear by stuff like that, but I've never found it to make a difference. I used some Procure and stuff in the past, but I've never seen it to make a difference. So I'm gonna experiment with it though. I think I'll take that Stank Stick stuff. I'll put it on there sometime in the future. Here's some more, Mike. Check them out. Nothing to it. Melt some Stank Stick into the stick bait. This sounds too much stuff going on there, right? I just don't think it's needed, man. You know, we fish a lot of clear water. I think our fish have the ability to use their sight a lot more than they have that ability somewhere like Texas. Oh, these ones are bad. You see that? You're not gonna be able to see it. They have little bubbles in it. It says squishy. But that's because I sucked up some air. I realized I did it, but it really is difficult to talk to you guys and shoot that stuff. Different experience. Gotta find a better game plan. But I wanted to test it out. Now these molds that get real hot, this stuff is getting super hot. So sometimes you have to stop shooting, let it cool down, or what I normally do is I just move on and shoot either the soft jerk baits or I'll shoot the paddle tails, right? So those molds are over here. We just move on, make some different plastic, and shoot the paddle tails. So we sell a bunch of those too. But for a few more of these, I put these guys on here and I cut them up and I toss them in there. Every plastic is different. So the plastic that we use, I end up letting it cure for a few days. Well, it's supposed to cure for 4 to 7 days, so I let it cure. That's what makes it durable. If you don't let it cure, it'll tear apart real easy. And the last thing you want to do is send out a lure to somebody for them to use and then not be durable. The stuff that we use has actually been really, really durable for us, which has been really nice. But I always check them when I'm doing this. I'll just put my hands on them, I'll touch all of them real quick. If there's any kind of bubble, like this little bubble right here, we knew these ones messed up, but it just pop like that. It's not just toss it back over there and redo it. We usually don't have these problems when we're not on Facebook Live, but face it, or yeah, we're on a YouTube Live, whatever this crap's called. It happens. But just like that, you know, we just made 4 packs pretty quick. And once you're going and you're actually doing this stuff, it's a little hot because that plastic will be 350 degrees sometimes, but you can get going. You can produce some serious soft plastics. There's days I come out here for hours to try to keep up with the orders, or I try to keep the wall full of lures. That way when full of like hardened, cured lures, right? So if they're good to go, they're on the wall. If they're waiting to be cured, they're usually just sitting over here in a bucket. Sitting over here in one of these bins, you know, just like that. You got all these lures. Put them in here like so, and then you just keep going till the whole bin is full. You wait 4 days, and then you bag them. We've been selling a lot of those variable color packets. You got guys who we did a video about the variable soft plastic, so we have a bunch of different colors, all kinds of colors in here, right? And that has allowed us to send them out to people, various shades of green, or all kinds of different shades of green. And we put them on the website for like $10. You buy like 25 of these lures for like $10. And then that way you get to experiment with a bunch of random colors, because I always talk to people about how, you know, a natural color is important, but it's not the end of the world. If you have a green one and you think you need a ghost shrimp one, it's probably not the end of the world because it's a natural color. And we fish a lot of super clean, clear water. So now we're just gonna reheat that stuff for a little bit. We'll mix it back up. We'll probably get another 1 or 2 molds, you know, shots out of that, and then we'll move on to a different color. But all kinds of random lures on the wall. Just some of them need to be caught up on. Need to make some white lures. I just, like I said, I had to drop a bunch off at Broxton's because they were selling, which is obviously the goal. But then you got to restock them. Then you got to make enough that you get orders on the website and you can ship things out. Mike, what kind of kayak do you fish from, Mike? Yeah, it'll work. It should work on there too, man. You know, those little that coated wire or whatever you want to call it, it's pretty good stuff, man. It lasts forever. We've been doing that for years now. You know, and I don't mount it up there all the time. So I use the bungees because the bungees work for me. But you could put that coated wire on the front and back, and you really have a super secure platform. You know, someone commented on the video on Facebook and was like, hey, why are you guys afraid to drill holes in your kayak? It's like, I'm not afraid to drill holes in my kayak. I drill holes in kayaks all the time. I don't even think twice about it. It's not a big deal. It's just plastic. But at the same time, I get a new kayak every 6 months, And it's kind of ridiculous for me to drill holes in the kayak every 6 months and add pad eyes or add rivets and do all this extra work when I don't have to. So that coated wire, I probably have some more around here somewhere, but that stuff is great, man, because you can just pop it on one kayak and say the next day I have a rental and the renter wants to borrow a fish bag or rent a fish bag out. I can be like, hey man, just here, it goes on the front just like this. And now the renter can have a fish bag. I don't have to rig 7 or 8 PDLs to be ready for that situation. So it saves me a lot of time. You should mount on your Seaghost without any kind of issues though. Oh yeah, I can see that, especially if you're camping from it and you got a lot of gear on there. Those things are just so versatile. Like you can leave it out there; it's never gonna corrode. You can cut it to any length. It's really cheap. You know, I remember I mentioned some numbers in that video. My numbers were wrong. I'm telling you, when I first bought that stuff, it was like $5 for 16 feet. They raised the price on it a little bit, which is kind of silly. But that being said, there's probably some alternatives that are cheaper. I just put a link to the one that I bought because I knew it worked well. Curtis, shouldn't you be working? Or does anyone work anymore? I don't. This is what I do these days. We remember heating it up slow again. You don't want to heat it up too fast. I did a video a while back about bosses off today. Nice. I did a video a while back about fishing for redfish using burnt soft plastic. That wasn't a joke. I was sitting here. There's actually probably some of them in here. Here's one right here. Look. This is burnt. I burnt that. Like you kind of see a green hue to it. It was supposed to be green and I burned it. Once you burn it, it kind of browns out. And then I had a small burnt spot in there and stuff. And I just mixed it up like I would any other color. And it turned it from green to brown. And I was like, well, I wonder if it'll shoot. And I shot it without any kind of issues. And after we shot it, I was like, taking it fishing. That was just another thing to prove that the fish do not care about color. Now look, our consistency is good, but we got some bubbles in there, so we're gonna let them take care of themselves real quick. While we're doing that, pull out another one of these Pyrex cups. This is what it starts off like, right? Called Plastisol. We're just gonna put 1 cup in here. I like to keep it all small batch, man. I could do it way bigger and cause all kinds of problems and do silly stuff, but it's not needed. So I like to do it in the small batches. Show you guys some arts and craft time. Grown men, arts and craft time. Remember, you want to get this other color off of here when you go to mix this. You don't want to mess up your new color with old color. Mix that up for a second. Got a towel over here. Gotta find a better setup for doing this on live. Those bubbles all starting to come out of there. Heat it up for just a second. Now we're gonna heat it up before we add glitter and color to it. Alright, so I took care of most of our bubbles. We're gonna just set this just like this on this little piece of wood, give it a little bit of angle there. Mix it up, make sure she's good. I'm gonna stand back up because it really is way easier. And then we'll just shoot both of these. Just top them off. That way no air gets in there. Shoot that back in here. And then that stuff really, you know, you can just remelt it. A lot of times, if I was out here and my goal was to make a bunch of this stuff, I would keep going with that color, and I wouldn't have ever stopped. It would have been heating up the whole time, but it's kind of distracting to look at this. And fishing isn't hard, but everyone has an opinion. No, there's nothing really complicated about fishing. Once you learn to find the fish, you catch the fish. You just gotta find the fish. That's all it comes down to. How do you find the fish? And then you gotta find them and hope that no one like drives over them with a pontoon boat. That is the challenge. All right, so this thing is ready to go for our next color. We're just gonna take this stuff, toss it over here, pull these ones out of the mold. Once the mold gets hot, you gotta kind of wait a second. Or jet ski, yeah, you're not lying, especially this time of year, man. The shenanigans have already started. Boats driving all over us in the sound. Absolute shenanigans. But once you do it right, that's what it should look like in there. Just like that thing is hot as ever. Nice and pretty, no bubbles, all that good stuff. No bubbles. Looking real good. Now, so we got a bunch of those. Just trying to get my shelf back to being full. Now these are hot, so we're gonna move on to the next stuff. It really looks like, if anything, I need to make right now, I need to make some whitish stick baits, but we'll make some. Maybe we'll make some whitish jerk. We'll make some whitish stick baits and some whitish stick baits. I don't really make the ghost shrimp color in any other type of lure. I always just make it a stick bait that was designed to play a ghost shrimp, and face it, a jerk bait does not appear to be a ghost shrimp. So these are the soft jerk bait molds right there. I just took a bunch of these up to Broxton's too, because they tend to go really fast. If you haven't, or you don't fish a fluke, if you don't fish a fluke or a soft jerk bait, the time of year is pretty much about to be perfect, and we'll go into some serious details about that, because it's probably one of my all-time favorite soft plastic lures. The fluke was actually a staple of me growing up, but they're not very durable. So we started using this. We tinkered around with some different types of plastic. We found a plastic that worked well for us. That's super durable. Usually only takes like a one pinfish, and then your fluke no longer has a tail. But they have fantastic action, and well, action is just as important as durability, in my opinion. So the goal was to make a lure that had some durability, but still had enough action. So we played with a bunch of different types of plastic, added some random chemicals to make it a little more durable, and we're good to go. Yeah, just trim these off these screws. Not doing a very good job. I'm a little distracted evidently. That's a sprue. It just gets remelted. That was a terrible job cutting that. just check them all to see if they got bubbles. Another sprue. That plastic's heating up. A lot of times it takes about 4.5 to 5 minutes for that plastic to heat up from the white stuff. Once you already have it hot, you can do it in 1 minute increments, minute and a half increments. But we're ready to do this. What did everybody do today? Anything cool other than be bummed? All right. So that's been 5 minutes. Now, kind of a little cloudy. So we're just gonna give it a quick mix. See, it's getting clear. You want it to be as clear as possible without getting a bunch of bubbles in there. But it wasn't clear enough. It was still kind of stiff. It goes from being like Elmer's glue to super stiff and tacky to like a syrup. And you want it to be the syrup. Alright, so now we're going to add some white. Now, depending on how dark you want it to be, is how many drops you're going to use. Wipe these off because they make a huge mess sometimes. We're going to mix it up a little bit just so the glitter doesn't stick to all of it. We're going to take our glitter, a little scooper. When does the glitter come in? Never mind. Haha. Patience, right? And then we're going to put the glitter in here. Told you, arts and crafts for grown men. Alright? And then you just mix it up. Now, obviously, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. Type of plastic. Every type of plastic has to be heated differently. Your colors will react different with the types of plastic. You got to use the right kind of glitter or it'll get hot and it'll change colors, which you don't want, obviously. And the color will always look different in the jar than it does outside of the jar once you get it in there, because it's like, I think about it's thick here, so it looks really white. Once you shoot it in there, it'll appear to be whitish or, semi-transparent. But let some of those little bubbles pop out real quick. Now we're gonna shoot both of these jerk baits, and then ideally, let's see. Now we'll just shoot both of these jerk baits, and then we'll put that back in there, and then we'll shoot the jerk bait molds twice more. That way we'll end up getting 16 total baits out of there. Now you could buy more molds and do this on a much bigger scale, but I actually like doing it in the small scale. I like to make sure they're all good. I don't want to send out anything to anyone that has a defect or an issue. Plus, when you start doing it too big, it kind of takes the whole handmade idea away from it. These are made with love and care. That's funny. I'll just shoot that back in there real quick. Put that in there. Now with the white, that plastic will discolor sometimes when you go to reheat it because it's white. Let's see, actually there's probably some down here. So there's actually some extra here I could cut up and remelt. But a lot of times I just take this stuff and I end up making all those random colors out of it. One, because I really enjoy, it's kind of fun to paint the random colors or make the random colors and then take them out and just see what happens. So that you can learn so much. You really learn that the fish aren't as picky. One of the things I learned it a long time ago, but I really realized that when we were selling tackle at Broxton's every day. Here's these guys, nice and pretty. Just pull out of there. And boom, look at that. Those fish will wear that thing out right there on the grass flats. When we do our Facebook Live video, we're gonna make a discount code for the website so you guys can buy all that stuff at 10% off. But yeah, they're nice and pretty. Heat that back up for a second. Well, I was saying about the you should add handcrafted to the label. Tack on another 10 cents. Nah, they say they get the job done. That's plenty enough for me. The label says that they get the job done, which is plenty. I think it's fun. But when I would sell tackle to people at Broxton's years ago, people would go and they'd catch like their first ever redfish on one random color, and then that was like their favorite color fishing lure for the rest of history, just because they caught one fish on it, and all it really came down to was they finally had some form of confidence. So that's interesting. But it's also why I like using the random colors, just because you get adapted to, hey, it's not the color. Hey buddy, how you doing, man? Just making some lures. You get adjusted to it. That's not so much the color, especially in saltwater. Freshwater is a little bit different because every pond or lake may only have one type of fork species. But in the salt, there's so much different type of bait. You can get away with a variety of things. So it all comes down to confidence. So once you can break, oh, there's a little bit of air in there. Once you can break away from color based on confidence and get more into presentation and location, time of year, stuff like that, you really improve the fishing side of things. All right. Obviously, these use a little bit more plastic than the stick baits because, well, we use all of our plastic pretty darn quick. It's part of it, though. Yeah, staying busy during the crazy. Trying to stay busy during the crazy. Still got guys that want to go fishing. A few guys that want to go fishing, but man, no one's here realistically. There's nobody here. Video coming out about my predator setup. I'm using your handle and wrench. Man, I appreciate you buying those things, man. We've been selling a lot of those things. I got interrupted on. I had a phone call come in. But he's the guy named Trevor. He owns a 3D printing business, and I needed some more filament, so we had to prioritize and take the phone call for a second. Let me know when you post a video. I'll check it out. I got nothing else to do in my life, so I'll definitely check it out. Fail. Dang, my phone's only on 2%. Or sorry, 10%. That's not good news. It was really just a test run. I think I wanted to see how it worked. I want to make sure the audio was good. I'm not a real big fan of this angle, so we'll have to address that angle here in the future. I'd like to go to using my actual cameras for this stuff, but I figured I'd use the cell phone to see how it went. That way I can make adjustments and decisions for going live Friday night for our seminar. My goal of now is still to do the live seminar at Broxton's, but no one will be there, just me. Just talking to myself in a room, so that'll be interesting. Maybe my wife will be able to come help me videotape it as I talk to myself with no one in the crowd. That'd be really, really weird. More pretty lures. Oh. All right, you guys, but we've been doing this for 40 minutes evidently. Everybody like the live video? As far as maybe we should do it some more, maybe we shouldn't, maybe we should. Camera angle needs to be fixed. Everybody agrees? Looks fine, sounds fine. See, that's good news. I appreciate it, buddy. it's a good thing you didn't see the one I just deleted before this, because the start was less than good. Just cut that stuff up, make some more lures. My phone's gonna die, so cut this short. If you guys have suggestions for live videos over the next few weeks, just let me know. Audio sounds good. My video's been choppy at time. Maybe my connection. Maybe my connection too. I only used the cell phone. I didn't even use the Wi-Fi. I just turned the cell phone on. So I appreciate that feedback, Curtis. But if you guys have suggestions for videos, I'm gonna try to do a little bit better in the YouTube department than I do currently, as far as live videos and posting. I just made a post on YouTube community about going live, so I'll make another one of those posts about video suggestions. That way you guys can make suggestions for live videos. I had some suggestions about rigging, stuff like that, but I don't want the phone to die, so I'm gonna turn this off. I look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts about that stuff though. I'll make a post right after this. Thank you for watching.